Hi everyone, konnichiwa. Today we're talking basics of Japanese cooking. Japanese Ingredients 101. I've gotten a number of questions where people don't know where to start with Japanese foods and what ingredients to buy. And so I'm going to introduce five really the essential ingredients that you need to start cooking. And then five of my favorite other seasonings, ingredients that really make a huge difference for me when I cook. If you're new here, welcome. We're so glad you're here. I'm talking about everything Japanese American life, including cooking, as you can see today. So if you want to follow our journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you know when the new videos are out. The first five I'll talk about are essential. So you will probably need this for most of your dishes. I want to say at least 80%. If you have this, you can do it. The other five that I'll talk about later are going to be kind of the bonus ones that I really enjoy and I use for various things, and so I keep these around all the time. So stick with me. We'll start with soy sauce. Shoyu is the name in Japanese, but it is a fermented soybean product. As I'm talking through these, you're going to notice that a lot of these items are fermented ingredients, which is great for our health, and it's just an essential part of Japanese cooking. There are a lot of fermented things. Some people like, some people really don't like, but we'll get to that more later. But soy sauce, it's in almost everything you can imagine. We use it for a lot of things. Any sort of braised product, any sort of teriyaki, any sort of anything really. We use a lot of soy sauce. So this is the one that I have. I don't have a particular brand that I use all the time. I like this one. We bought this one, but honestly, I've gone through a lot of different kinds. So soy sauce is one of the first ones. I don't really have like a light soy sauce, dark soy sauce, anything like that. It's just shoyu. Another essential thing is dashi. Dashi is just the name for broth, and usually it's a fish-based broth or a kelp-based broth, or some people also use mushroom, like shiitake-based broths, but it's just broth. It's called dashi to give it that starting flavor of any soup, any braise, any dish that has liquid. And so I have these on hand right now. They're dashi packs, so they're almost like tea bags, but they have dashi items inside, the ingredients inside. This one has fish. It has like bonito flakes. It has kombu, which is a type of seaweed, and it has mushrooms also. It has shiitake. So it has a number of different things in it. So it's just an easy way. I boil some water, pop this in, and I have some dashi instantly. They also have dashi powders. So a lot of people like dashi powders because it's a similar thing. You have hot water, you put in that dashi granules, and voila, you have dashi. So it is your base, it is your stock, it is that starting broth for almost any foods also. So between these two, here we go. Here comes sake. So I have cooking sake. This is ryorishu, cooking sake. And this is really, you can use it for tenderizing meats or also to decrease that smelliness of whether it be fish or meats, just to kind of make it a nicer, more milder flavor. So that is cooking sake. And the difference between regular sake and cooking sake is salt. There's just some salt in here so that it can't be sold as drinking sake. But this is also fermented from rice, and so another fermented product for you. The next essential ingredient is mirin, or mirin, as some people say, but this is mirin. You want to find the ones that say mirin because there are some that are made and not the actual fermented rice wine. It is a type of rice wine, so again, this is a fermented item as well, but it is sweeter than sake, so it is a little different in that it is a little sweeter, a little less alcohol content. So this is essential. It also adds that glaze. For like teriyaki, you have that glaziness. This will add that shine and that gloss. So sweetness, shine, gloss, mirin is your friend. And the last item I will talk about for the top 5 essential items, you probably already have this, it's brown sugar. Brown sugar, because a lot of Japanese foods tend to have some sweetness to it. A lot of other Asian countries have spicier things, but honestly, in Japanese food, I think a lot of people notice that there are a lot more sweeter flavors. It might be subtle sweets, but there's definitely a sweet component to it, and brown sugars combined with mirin to give it that nice sweet touch. So that's my 5 top ingredients. Some of these you probably already have. I'm guessing most of you have soy sauce and sugar. The other 3 might be things that you might need to acquire, but they're very simple, easy to get at any Asian grocery. So there you go. All right. Now that we talked about our 5 essentials, these are my bonuses. I do use these quite often, and so I want to introduce them to you. The first one, I'll start with sesame oil. I think this just adds a different dimension of flavor, especially for things like gyoza, like pot stickers, or any sort of stir fry type of thing. I love it, especially when I just kind of add a touch at the end. I think it's fantastic. So sesame oil is my first one. The second one I use all the time, and I made a video of how to make it, is shiokoji. And there's only a little bit left, as you can see, but it is a fermented koji seasoning. So it is a salt alternative, and I put it on all sorts of things. I put it on any sort of roasted fish, I put it on vegetables, I put it on anything that I bake in the oven that is a savory thing. Anything that I would put salt on, this is kind of my alternative, and it also has like a sweet, salty, different flavor, umami flavor, and it's so delicious. And koji is actually what is used to ferment a lot of different things, including your soy sauce. So you might hear that name come up quite a bit, but it is the bacteria that you use for making all those fermented products. So if you haven't checked out the video, I will link it below, so feel free to check it out. You can also use koji, dry koji, to make the amazake, which is the sweet sake, which is so good. And I know my mom has also made a shoyu koji, so you just ferment soy sauce again with the koji, and it becomes a great shoyu alternative with some extra health benefits. Then you have miso. If you've heard of miso soup, miso salmon, miso cod, all that kind of stuff, again, a fermented soy product. There's different kinds of miso. This is the one that I have, but there is a white miso as well, which is a lighter flavor, much more subtle, but I like this one because it's got a nice miso flavor, but not overpowering, because there is a red miso also that is a lot stronger. But this one's kind of the in-between one. We'll also make a miso soup video because my son loves miso soup. I just discovered this because my dad actually drinks miso soup every single morning. That is his thing. He's very Japanese to the bone, and he loves his miso soup every day. That is his routine. So miso is a very common ingredient, and you can use it in a lot of things. Great for your health. Okay, the last 2 ingredients. This one is called Dashi. So this actually is kind of a mix of a number of ingredients that we've already talked about, but just in kind of a cheater form. So Dashi, we talked about dashi, right, which is the stock or the broth. And so it has some of that, it has some soy sauce, it has some mirin, it has some salt. So it's kind of already for you to kind of dilute, and you can use it for braising, you can use it for noodles, you can use it for a number of different things. You can also use it for tamagoyaki. So if you need a little quick cheater thing, this is your thing. When I braise something, sometimes I just use a little dabble of this for an extra flavor. So it's just something nice that I have on hand for a quick little addition for extra flavor. I do use it in my tamagoyaki, and it makes it so good. And the last thing is, and it's not essential by any means, but we love it in our house, it is chili garlic oil. So I like this one. I've tried a few other ones as well, but I like this one. It has garlic in the chili oil. Maybe I'll open it up and show you, but it has garlic in there. And even when I open it, it smells like garlic and it's fantastic. But if you like spicy, it is spicy. And so if you like things to be a little bit more spicy, because like I said before, Japanese food's not known to be super spicy. But for gyoza especially, this is absolutely delicious. I even put some of this on this is not Japanese, but my avocado toast sometimes. This goes fantastic on it. Just something to give it a little extra kick. I love having this in my cabinet so that I can just add a little something, and it's delicious. So give it a try. Well, that's it. Those are my 10 ingredients that I absolutely love in my cabinet for any sort of Japanese cooking. And between the first 5, that'll probably get you to 80%. And if you add the other 5, that's a good number of dishes that you can make and make really delicious. So I hope you try it. Let me know what your favorite things are, or if you even have all of these in your kitchen. And if you have any questions, please send them my way. I love hearing your comments, questions, everything. So remember to subscribe, remember to hit that bell, and I hope to see you next time. Mata ne!